A student named Daniel Keeloff struggled to focus. Diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, falling behind in class, unable to sustain concentration. Then he began training for memory competitions. Decks of cards, random numbers, names and faces. 2 years later, he won medals at the Australian Memory Championships. But the strangest part came afterward. His grades transformed. He graduated with first-class honours. Not because he became smarter, because he trained attention itself. Most people think focus is something you either have or do not have. That is wrong. Attention is a trainable skill, and modern life is training yours in the wrong direction every day. Every spare moment filled with scrolling, every impulse to check your phone, every tiny burst of stimulation. All of it rewires your brain slowly over time. And in the next few minutes, you'll see why boredom is secretly one of the most valuable training tools in the modern world. Here is the mistake most people make. They think concentration is a switch, focus during work, distraction during breaks. Simple, but concentration behaves more like a muscle, and a few focused hours cannot fully counteract an entire day of constant interruption. Every time you check your phone in line, every time you switch tabs mid-task, every time you interrupt boredom with stimulation, you reinforce the expectation that your brain should never experience stillness. Stanford researcher Clifford Nass studied heavy multitaskers and found something alarming. They became worse at filtering irrelevant information, worse at working memory, worse at sustained attention. The damage did not disappear when multitasking stopped. Their baseline focus changed. Your phone is not only distracting you, it is training your brain what to expect constantly. So here is the reversal that changes everything. Most people schedule focus inside distraction. Instead, schedule distraction inside focus. That changes the entire structure of your day. The default becomes concentration. No notifications, no browsing, no constant checking. Then, at specific scheduled times, you allow distraction briefly: email, messages, internet. Then you close it again. The amount of internet time may stay similar, but the mental structure changes completely. Your brain learns that boredom is survivable, that urges do not need immediate satisfaction, that attention can stretch longer than it currently believes possible. Every uninterrupted block becomes a training session for concentration itself, and the muscle grows stronger through repetition. Theodore Roosevelt used a version of this at Harvard. He studied far fewer hours than many classmates, but his sessions were intensely concentrated, short, focused, aggressive. You can apply the same principle now. Choose one difficult task, set a visible countdown timer, compress the deadline dramatically, then work with complete intensity until the timer ends. No switching, no breaks, no phone, no drifting. The first attempt will feel uncomfortable. Good. That discomfort reveals how weak your concentration has become. But every repetition strengthens it. This is interval training for your brain, and sustained focus becomes physically easier over time. There is another method that looks deceptively simple. Take a walk, a shower, a commute, anything repetitive enough to free mental space. Then hold one single professional problem in your mind. Not vague thinking. One specific question. When your attention drifts, gently return it. Again and again. At first you will fail constantly. Your mind will wander every few seconds, but eventually something changes. Your brain learns how to stay on one track voluntarily. And suddenly difficult problems begin resolving themselves during ordinary moments away from the desk. Concentration becomes portable, not dependent on perfect conditions. Now try a simple experiment. The next time you stand in line somewhere, do nothing. No phone, no reading, no stimulation. Just stand there for 3 minutes. If that feels uncomfortable, your brain has already adapted to constant distraction. And here is the dangerous part. People most affected by fragmented attention often notice it the least, because their baseline has shifted gradually. The distracted state now feels normal. But compared to what their mind was once capable of, it is diminished, a weaker version of itself. That is why rebuilding attention matters so much, not only for productivity, for mental clarity itself. Daniel Keeloff's story proves something important. Attention is not fixed, it is trainable, and every moment of boredom becomes either a training session for distraction or a training session for depth.